What's up, guys? I had a little story I want to tell y'all about a bad situation I got into that could have been a lot worse. I'm glad it wasn't any worse. Uh, so hauled a load of lumber last week, all about 4.5 hours from my house. Well, actually, the lumber went a little further than that, about 5.5 hours. But when I was laying down trying to go to sleep, I was playing on Craigslist, looking around, just couldn't sleep, and I run across a deal on a forklift. It said it didn't run, it needed work, didn't have any brakes. You know, just an old forklift like you wouldn't think anything about possibly being a scam or anything like that. And so I looked and it had a phone number, and I texted them and asked them about it, and they told me it was a business that had closed, and the forklift had been sitting for about a year, and that it had no brakes and it did not run. Wasn't really sure what was wrong with it. Said I could go by and look at it, and I was about 40 miles out of my way. And so when I got lumber delivered, I kind of went around through a different way on the way back to the house, stopped and looked at it, and it's probably could be made to run and probably be helpful here around the house, trying to move stuff around and whatnot. So I told him I was interested in it, and I'd get back with him or whatever. And so I did, and it was a woman, and she said, well, come on and get it, and she'd meet me there. And I told her I lived about 4.5 to 5 hours away, and so I got my dad and borrowed his trailer, and we put some plywood down on the boards on the floor because it's not that great. Forklift's pretty heavy, and so I did that, and got all the chains, binders, and everything. Headed down there, and made it down there, and she couldn't find the key. She said the key was supposed to have been in it, and that evidently somebody took it out or it got misplaced or something other. It had been sitting out here kind of in the wide open, this like parking lot kind of deal where there was a business at for like a year, and she had a office building there for sale, and like a commercial sized barbecue pit or something other, some stuff she's trying to sell. And so anyway, I didn't really think anything of it, and so we start loading this thing on a trailer, and she was like, well, maybe my ex-husband's got a key. Maybe he's got a key to it. So she starts trying to get a hold of her ex-husband, and evidently she finally got him to respond to a text or something or other. I've got this thing up on the trailer now, and it's not all the way on the trailer. It's it's on the back of the trailer, so the back of the truck's picked up off the ground, and I'm pulling it up there with a winch and trying to steer it and whatnot and keep it centered in the trailer. And anyway, she comes over there and she says, "You're not going to be real happy with me." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I can't sell this forklift." I said, "What do you mean you can't sell this forklift?" "Well, my ex-husband says I can't sell it." I was like, "Do what?" "Lady, I done drove 4.5 hours down here, and you're trying to sell something that don't even belong to you? You're trying to sell me a stolen forklift? What the heck?" So I wasn't real happy, and I was like, "Well, how are we going to get it back off the trailer? Do you have something to pull it with? Because this winch only works in one direction, and the thing wouldn't roll, it wouldn't freewheel roll off the trailer. The back of my truck's picked up off the ground. I can't move my truck." So I said, "You're going to get somebody to hook a truck to it or something and drag it back off the trailer. There's nothing I can do with it at this point." And she's got a truck. She said, "Well, I'll hook my truck onto it and drag it back off there." She goes to get her truck. She locked her keys in her truck. So evidently this woman's not real bright. Hate to talk about people like that, but just being honest, how the hell you think you're going to sell somebody something that doesn't even belong to you? And, it cost me $100 in fuel to drive down there and back. And 2 hours worth of my time sitting down there getting this thing on the trailer and then get it back off. Well, she was trying to get her keys out of the truck, and there's a business beside their business that they had, I guess her and her ex-husband had. And they build some portable buildings and stuff there. And there was a guy who had a big forklift, and he was one of the workers. and it was after hours and it got dark, and he seen we were having help, and he wasn't really supposed to come over there, you know, on the other company's forklift and help out, but he seen that we were having a little trouble, and he come over there and wanted to know that we needed help, and told him the situation, told him I was trying to get the stupid thing back off my trailer so I could go home, and if he didn't mind, if he would hook a chain to it, and he said, well, I'm not responsible for, you know, what might get tore up. I said, I don't care, I want the thing off this trailer so I can go home. And he went over there and talked with the woman, and you know, asked her was it going to be a problem if he hooked onto it, you know, as far as damaging the forklift if it was to flip over or something. And she told him she didn't care, she needed it off of there as well. So he hooked onto it and drug it off, and basically I got in my truck and left. She was still trying to get her keys out of her truck. You know, she had some other guys that were helping her that she had called. I don't know what went down with that, but really bad situation. I was not very happy about it, but it could have been a lot worse had I have got it back to the house, and then you know, they reported it stolen. Her husband reported it stolen or something, and then I don't know what would have went down from there. But yeah, it was not a very good experience for me dealing on Craigslist. But I would have never thought that somebody would try to sell something like that. I mean, that should have been settled in court and figured out who owned the thing before it was ever tried to be sold on Craigslist. It's just the stupidity of people, you know, listing something like that and thinking you can sell something that don't even belong to you. I don't know, guys. So, y'all, that's my story. Y'all watch out for any Craigslist deals y'all run across. And I've never seen a scam or anything like that on a broken down piece of equipment anyway. Like most everything you see that looks like a scam is a real cheap price, and you know, it says it runs great, nothing wrong with it. And that's the first one I've ever run across that, you know, actually didn't run and needed work, and turned out to be a bad deal. So y'all watch out on Craigslist and any other classified ads y'all deal with. Ask lots of questions. I know I'll ask a few more next time, you know, as far as who owns the thing and whatnot, because she didn't tell me any of that till I got down there. And, you know, I was just told that, you know, it was a business her and her ex had, and they closed it down and were selling everything, you know. And then come to find out, she didn't even own a thing to sell, evidently. So, talk to y'all guys later. Thanks for watching. Later, guys.